We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thính, vì thứ pháp bồi cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tinh chiến diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoáng tư ly hô đạc lạc tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suche Doye Ola Hodi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tathagata Tuya Daya Alaha De Tamil Tambo Dantoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan qian an zao yu. Wo jin jie wen de shou qu, yuan jie ru lai zhen shi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, O good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父、上人、各位主持人、各位善知识, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thánh Lương Đại sư Thượng Tịnh Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư thức giải A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 2nd of May 2025. We are here at Go Forest to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. We're right now on, let me see, slide number 1000 something, 354. Okay. All right. This is actually a very good section we started the last time. And this is the last slide of this section. And this is very important, so that I wanted to remind you and go over it again for you to help you put things in perspective. So that the context is that he's discussing about the Dharma, and I think this is a section where he talked about the certain Dharma of the Xianshou school. The next section he'll be talking about fifth type of classification of Dharma that the Buddha spoke, was the perfect Dharma. So this is a certain teaching Dharma, which is the essential Mahayana teaching, if you will. Okay? Mahayana teaching is essentially certain teaching. And so he says here, the certain disclosure and certain revelation, cutting off of words is for the sake of a single kind that frees itself from workings of thoughts, which is simply following the Chan school. So what he's talking about here, okay, a very important point here, is that in the Chan school, our purpose is to free you from thoughts. You have to stop thinking. We have to find a way to help you stop thinking. So all the practices all the methods we give you are only experience for the purpose of helping you bring your erroneous thoughts to an end. And if you're able to do that, then your wisdom will shine forth. It's because you cannot stop thinking. That's why you're confused. You're confused by the sound, you're confused by kids speaking behind you, you're confused by the noise from the door they open there for ventilation and so forth. We are constantly confused by sounds, by sights and so forth. And if somehow we find a way to help you stop thoughts, the thoughts arise because you react to those things, to the stimuli, okay? So we're talking about, don't worry about the terminology so much, but this is basically the Dharma door of the perfect, certain enlightenment. Okay? Oops, excuse me. Suddenly, something reminded me, but I'm going to ignore that. And that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, the thought arises, you ignore it. Okay, however, in my defense, if I ignored it, it keep on pinging me, then it would distract you more than it distracts me. That would afflict me, for real. Okay, never mind. So that's what it's about. And so Master Shinwa explains here. Now that's his elaboration. He's saying that it's apart from words and speech, okay, languages, and so you practice these things, and you have 84,000 methods of helping you bring an end to your thinking. Okay, and don't be attached like the overexcited Buddhist disciple says, I do vipassana only. I do Pure Land only. I do Chan only. That's you being attached to the Dharma door. All the Dharma doors are important. In what aspect? It's important in that they help you reduce your thinking. All right? So everything is helpful as long as reduce your thinking. And if whatever you do from the instructions helps you reduce your thinking, then it's called Chan. Okay? So for example, maybe it's no longer applicable. We teach you full lotus to make you hurt. It's painful. So when it's painful, you stop thinking about all the things but your pain. See, it's the same principle. Okay, so stop whining, girls. Okay. So before I left, people would sit there and start crying and screaming. Okay, remember the screamer? Hey, CNC. There's a screamer here in the audience. Do your job. Okay, but that's a special case. The screamer is a special case, special handling. But the point here is that there's lots of expedience in a Chan school to help you, okay, reduce your thinking. So do not overlook anything. Don't think that, the reciting Buddha's name is not really Chan. That is Chan. When you recite the Buddha's name, you reduce your thinking, your false thinking. That is Chan. All right? And typically, because you're so full of it, is it fair to say? So we need to help you reduce the severity. You can go from 0 to 100 miles per hour within seconds. It takes a while for your electric motor, your EV, to pick up to speed. Okay, it takes about 4 seconds, 10 seconds in my car. Okay, so you see, it takes a while. Okay, and so so it takes time, and so therefore you need to be patient. And as long and Master Shinhua says here, don't discriminate. Okay, you just the bottom line here actually is more American than Chinese right here. As long as it helps reduce your thinking, then it's Chan. It is exactly our American thinking. Okay, I paraphrase it for you, but it's more flowery in Chinese. Okay, I've been accused recently by people that I'm too coarse, guilty. Okay, and so keep an open mind. That's very important in your spiritual path. Keep an open mind. Okay, and you don't need to be so discriminating. Reject this Dharma and select another and so forth. Okay, and any Dharma door that's given to you will help you get there. All right, that's the main thing. Now he goes into the details. First of all, he says, stop discriminating the different Dharma doors. In a Chan school, we have 84,000 Dharma doors. They're all equally important. As long as they help you reduce your thoughts, your false thinking, then they're important. Okay? You don't necessarily have to think that, like Hua-to in Korea, the Koreans seem to think that when you practice Son, the Chan, then Hua-to is the most important Dharma door. That's attachment to one Dharma door. You should not be attached to any Dharma door. Okay? And that's the true nature of the sudden teaching. Okay? Don't be attached to any Dharma door. Okay? And as you practice this Dharma door, this is what happens inside of you. He says, you are told to recite the Buddha's name, and what happens? You're told to contemplate kindness and compassion, okay? Or the 4 stations of mindfulness, like the Hinayana like to do. But what happens is that you are false thinking like crazy, okay? And so how do you get to one? How do you get, and in order to become enlightened, to stop your thoughts, what you do is you merge all those thoughts. You eliminate them, okay? You cut them off. You stop them, okay? These thoughts until only one thought remains. No more thought arises, okay? You remove these, you eliminate the arisal of thoughts. You think less in common language. Think less until you're able to concentrate on one thought only. That's when you have a chance to stop all your thoughts. See, that's why it's a gradual process. You have to eliminate the errant thoughts. Eventually you're able to focus on one thought only. And one thought could be the Buddha's name, could be the Hua-to, could be a mantra, whatever. Okay? And so the Master Shinhua, this is his interpretation. He says, how do you get to the point where you have no more thoughts being produced? He says, if you want no thought to be produced, meaning you have you're thinking of nothing, then you make sure that you have one thought, you maintain a one thought that's not destroyed. It's rather clever, right here. That's why it takes the virtuosity of a great teacher like Master YongHua to be able to express it in a way that's his style. Because you typically don't see this in the Chan scriptures, in the instructions of the meditation. He says, I tell you what's the trick, okay? In order for you to have no thought arising, okay, no more thought arising, then what you do is you focus on one thought, okay, and don't let it die, okay? It's rather technical, but it's okay. It's a very good and elegant way of expressing it. It's kind of cool, if you ask me, okay? Like the typical Chinese people. They're kind of flowery, poetic. They use verses, poetry to express themselves. It's rather elegant, okay? But a lot more subdued than the French, who are more flamboyant, okay? They're elegant, but they're in a flamboyant way. The Chinese, the Asian culture is more elegant, but in a subdued and modest way. And so he says, you sustain the one thought there. The one thought, you maintain one thought, then you stop all the new thoughts from arising. Okay? And that's clever. Okay, real clever, as I said. But I don't like it. Okay? It's too clever. Okay? What's the problem with this kind of argument? I just gave you the clue already. It's an argument. He says, if you want no more thoughts, then just maintain these thoughts. It's his arguing, okay? It's his debating. And that's not Sutton teaching. That's exactly the opposite of Sutton teaching. Shh. One day, when it's your turn to sit here, then you remember, oh, my Master YongHua told me this already, and now I got it. It's too much thinking, okay? Too much arguing. He says, I tell you a way, but this is the most inefficient way to get there. It's why? Because it's gradual. You reduce from 10,000 thoughts to 9,000, 8,000, 7, and then eventually 999, and then and 5, and then 1, and you sustain this, okay? And that's too slow. Okay, but that's why I call it Chinese Chan. His Chinese Chan, and he says, he further explains why you have so many thoughts. It's because he says the 6 type relations and 7th and 8th. He's referring to what's really happening. Why you have so many thoughts? It's because you have the 8 consciousnesses. They are active, okay? 8th consciousness meaning that you have the 6 sense organs, your eyes, your ears, and nose, and so forth, your body, and that produces the touch and the consciousness of the touch, okay? That's what creates a very deep impression in your mind. That's why you keep on thinking about it. You keep on thinking about a song. Yeah? Anyone? When I first started meditation, and one of the rules I heard, was taught at Master YongHua's temple is that do not sing. I happen to like music. You may not know it, but I love music, among other things. and drinking and movies and so forth. Okay, have many, many vices. But the one thing that bothered me is that you should drop music. As soon as I listened to that, I heard that, not listened to that, I was so intrigued. So I said, so I have to stop thinking about music. So guess what? Music kept on popping up in my head constantly all day long. As soon as I'm forbidden from doing it, I do it subconsciously. It's the rebel in me, okay? And so if you forbid me from doing things, I would do it, just to spite you. And so that's why I struggle so much. But the point is well taken here. The process of you need to understand why you have so many thoughts, because your 6 sense organs are constantly presenting us with data. And we, ordinary people, process it constantly. The noise, the smells of someone next to you who has not taken a shower yet, and so forth. And I just came back from Taiwan. One thing I learned, I got to experience is, you know what? It's their specialty. Stinking tofu. Okay? It's so delicious, but it stinks like hell. Okay? And so all those things, now as I talk to you, now my nose is smelling the stinking tofu again. It's registered so deeply ingrained in my mind that I can smell it now. Delicious. So the stinking tofu is very intriguing to me because it smells bad but tastes so good. So you see, speaking of confusion, you're confused both by your tongue and your nose, and then your tongue, okay, and your crazy mind. And so he says that this is what happens to you. Everyone who meditates have to deal with the eight consciousnesses, okay? 6 consciousnesses are constantly activated by your 6 sense organs. The 6 sense organs, again, are your mouth. No, what? Not your mouth. The eyes, okay? So you have the eye consciousness. You have the nose, who is the smell consciousness. The ears, which is a sound consciousness. The tongue, yes, the mouth, thank you, which is a taste consciousness. The body, which is a touch consciousness. Okay? And finally, the mind, which is thinking, okay, processing. So those are the 6 consciousnesses that are constantly activated. On top of it, you have a 7th consciousness, which is the liking, disliking, the ego right there. He says, I like this. I like stinking tofu. This stinking tofu here tastes better than the other, okay, and so forth. Actually, I tried the 3 different kinds and last stop. And so they're different experiences. And the 8th consciousness is the memory consciousness, where it keeps on popping up, When I speak of stinking tofu this time, I remember the last time we went to another stinking tofu place that has noodles, which is very good as well. See, that's the 8th consciousness for you. It keeps on bringing up memories. Okay? Anyone still here with me? Okay, don't look so excited. Okay, and so, bottom line here, he says that when you meditate, when you do Chan, these 8 consciousnesses are the one that actually are stirring things up for you. And all the methods, all the Dharma doors have to help you deal with that. That's the bottom line. Does it help? If it doesn't, it's okay. Okay, that's why the Chinese call the 6 types of close relatives. We look at our 6 consciousness are like relatives, cherish them like our close relatives, and he keeps on going on. The eye talks to you, the ears talk to you, nose talk to you, and so forth. And the 7th now jumps in and says, I like that better than the other, and so forth. Okay. Okay, so that's what the Chan what the Chan school does for you is dissects this for you and says this is why you are confused. Okay, this is the theory behind the Chan school training. This is standard. This is the foundation of all the Chan practices, the Chan Dharma doors that are given to you. Is it clear? Any questions about this? Okay. My problem with this, as I said earlier in the section, also the real problem I have is that the theory is good, okay, but how does it help you? I know I have a problem with these 8 consciousnesses. And my problem is that if you talk about this and then maybe in Tibet or somewhere in India, people, the monks started arguing about it. I feel that number 1 is more important. My problem is number 1. The other one, no, my problem is number 6. Number 6 is more important than number 1. 6 is the mind king. You cannot ignore the mind king. You are too focused on music, the ear. No, that's incorrect. But actually the ear, according to the Shrangma Sutra, the ear is the best organ for you to reach enlightenment. The other guy said, yeah, so be it. It may be the best for you when you believe in Guanyin Bodhisattva. I believe in Earth-Star Bodhisattva. It doesn't work for me. And so you debate back and forth. And how does it help you? The more you know, the more you argue. Hola. Huh? You got that? And so, be careful, folks, about knowledge. Because knowledge tells you, I like this better, I like that guy better, he makes more sense to me, okay? Because it's according to the fundamentals of the Chan practice, okay? The process behind it is dealing with the 8 consciousnesses, to find a way to deal with them effectively. But then it leaves the door open for so much debate and so much discrimination. This is the case where I tell you folks, especially for Vietnam people, they love to read about these things. Say, oh, I know how to do Chan now. Okay? It's so wrong. Because this is a case where knowledge creates problems. You know too much. Just like Jung's wife, okay? She says, you don't worry about, just know whatever I do, I love you. So don't eat this, don't eat that. Okay? No grease, no butter. Okay? Okay? So, it's hardly certain teaching. That's my problem. Okay? So, this, you have to be careful, folks. You read about these things, you understand these things, but don't think that it's actually helpful, because in this case I feel knowledge is confusing. The beautiful thing about this is that you should be proud that rarely do you find a Chan master who's able to bring it back to this level. Because I said, I've looked at a lot of Hinayana methodology, Vipassana, whatever, Samatha, whatever, and kindness meditation, breathing, and all those. All those, okay, are expedients, but they don't really understand what's really happening underneath, what's going on. That's why all those are their attainment to get to the point where yes, they can stop the thought from arising, but because they don't understand the process behind it, how to make no thoughts arising, okay, it takes them a long time to get there. Whereas in a Chan school, we understand this process. Therefore, we devise different experience for you to get there a lot sooner by more effectively addressing your coping with these 8 consciousnesses. So keep an open mind. There are lots of Dharma doors we put you through in order to help you rein in your crazy mind, your monkey mind, if you will. So far, so good. And this is my problem with the traditional approach in Chan, especially the Chinese. I started this afternoon in the Chan class there for Asia. I said, this is a problem with the Chan schools. It's because traditionally, it seems to me like the case with Master YongHua's case, temples there. He taught us this Dharma doors. There are traditional Chinese Chan techniques, but to me, they gear towards the cases where there are no good, no advisors. So you crank it out, you get there. Okay, and to me, that's too slow. Okay, because I have a problem. You tell me I have 8 consciousnesses to deal with. Now, it makes me think more about how to deal with them. Are we still together? Is it too much for you? Shall we talk about movies? Okay. Any questions? No? Okay. Next. 5, the perfect teaching clarifies that one position is each and every position, and that each and every position is one position.
五原教者，名一位即一切位，一切位即一位。
Okay, very good. And this is why you appreciate Master Jing Liang, because he's the one who has tremendous erudition. So he checked all the paperwork, all the scriptures, all the teachings. That's way before ChatGPT. So that's why now we have a confirmation from him that ChatGPT is right, correct or incorrect. Okay, so he parsed all the information, the billion-dollar tokens and parameters, and it came to this thing here that one position is the same as all the other positions. When I first heard about this, I said, oh, this is too much for me. The Avatamsaka Sutra is one of the most scary things for me back then. Okay, I said, I can never hope to lecture on this. Forget it. I read it, so that I can claim to my student, I read it once. Okay, so he says, perfect teaching is one, like musketeers, one for all for one. Okay, so one is each and every one, so one is everything else, and everything else is one. And interestingly, he says here, at the first time you bring forth the resolve, meaning that this is meaning that the first time you decided to want to become a Buddha. Anyone? Hello? Okay, I give up. Okay, I will keep on talking by myself until time is up, and then I go back to my room and get some sleep. At the very moment that we, especially for example in the three refugee ceremony where you said I bring forth a resolve to become a Buddha, that moment there, you right then become a Buddha. Any questions? Any problems? You have no problems, clearly. You got it, right?
I have a problem, but I wouldn't say it.
You have a problem?
I'm too afraid.
How stupid. Why can't you get it? Is the answer. Anyone has any other questions? How stupid of you. Why can't you get it? Hola. ¿Tiene una cuestión? I don't know. Huh? How do you say it in Spanish? Tengo? Huh? I forgot my Spanish already.
So I'm saying that I have a question.
No, I'm asking you. How do you ask you?
How do you ask me?
Yeah.
¿Tienes una pregunta?
Una pregunta. No cuestión. Okay. Muchas gracias. But you have a question now? Huh? No? See? That's exactly the reaction of everyone who hears of this. Say, oh, yeah, okay. And it still happens to me today. When I read this this morning, preparing this lecture, I say, yeah, right. But it's true. Why is it true? No one ever asked Master Shinwa that. I swear to God, I wish I were alive when he was still there lecturing this. I would love that. How is it possible? Okay, please explain to me. I'm not there. Please explain to me. How is it possible that I'm the same as my president? A beggar is same as the president of the country, more or less. One position is all positions. Okay? It's the same. Why is that? How is it possible? Changbuk Sini, go ahead. You want me to explain to you? Do you want me to explain to you? You really want to? Even though I just told you I don't get it? It's called sudden teaching. Sudden and perfect teaching. Okay? And what is the key about this is faith. Is the only way for you to get there is the faith. If you, like me, like us, when you read this, say, yeah. What does it mean? Zero faith. That's why we'll never get there. Is that clear? That's hopeless for all of you. Okay. And so it's a doctrine of inconceivable perfection and completeness, with no deficiencies, nothing excess. That's why the English translation of the Chinese words is the principle of totality. One is everything, everything is one. Got that? This is the doctrine of the Avatamsaka Sutra. And I'm back my mind question, how does it help me? You're not there yet, so it's not helpful to you yet. Okay? And so he says specifically, okay, in your path of cultivation, they're called attainments, or called positions, okay? Meaning that, like you first become a private, first class, second class, and then so forth. You get to sergeant and captain and colonel and so forth. There are gradations, there are positions in your level of attainment, okay? And remember these levels, they're very important. 10 faiths, the 10 dwellings, the 10 practices, the 10 transcendences, and the 10 grounds. Please memorize that. Those are the names of your favorite spots for you to go on vacation. Okay? It's you, as you cultivate, you will traverse these positions. First of all, you have to go to 10 faiths, and then next, just memorize it. First, lowest level is 10 faiths. Next level is 10 dwellings. Next level, 10 practices, 10 transcendences, and 10 grounds. And that's how you become enlightened. From 0 to Buddhahood. You go through these 50 positions and 51 positions, equal enlightenment, and then perfect enlightenment. So you have a total of 52 positions you need to go through. 51 to get to the 52nd position, which is Buddhahood. So it's only in this is in our world where there's the Avatamsaka Sutra, he spells out your journey, where you need to go in order to get there. So far, so good? He says, any position here in this path contains all the other positions. All right? So that's why the lowly person, who is that? Boy number 2, boy number 1. I cannot tell. He hides behind the pillar there. Okay, so one position is this complete with all the other positions. Okay. Just listen to it and don't reject it. Eventually, you understand. Eventually, we'll understand. How's that? And so another key word is that perfectly fused and interpenetrated. Okay, so everything coalesced together, merged together. Okay, and so you have the faith, the dwellings, the practices, the transferences, and the grounds. Those 5 classes or the 50 position, because each one has 10. They are the milestones, if you will. Okay? Any questions? This is not a good way to welcome me back, make me talk like this with a stone face. It's as if you don't remember who I am. We're no longer relatives and friends. Master and disciples. Yes, 6.
Master, even though the sudden teaching and then the perfect teaching here are separate in different one of the five type of teachings, they're not mutually exclusive, right? Meaning that the sudden teaching can be perfect and perfect can be sudden.
Yes.
Is that right? Thank you.
Yeah. They all contain within. They're not mutually exclusive. But for the uninitiated, for the people who lack wisdom like us, it's easier for them to classify, separate them, so that we are less confused. Okay? Because sometimes it's better that we focus on the small first before we become comfortable and go for the large. Just like when we started walking, we have to crawl first, very slowly, before we can learn to run. Okay? Yes, JMT.
맞서 제가 기억하기로는 그 원교가 동교보다 좀 더 상위 개념으로 기억하고 있거든요.
Don't
제가
translate.
잘못 기억하고.
Let me guess. She says, in that case, I'm Buddha already. You should know that, Master. 네? 네.
Master, as I remember, the perfect teaching is higher level than sudden teaching.
Yeah.
그러니까 제가 기억하고 있던 이전에 화환경, 그러니까 토요일 날 하셨던 거기에 슬라이드의 순서가 그렇게 되어 있었고 마스터께서 상위 개념으로 진행한다라고 하셨어가지고 그리고 그런 생각을 해본 적이 없고 저는 그냥 빨리 정토에 가고 싶을 뿐입니다.
In the slide, the order is like that, and I never thought like that, and I just wanna go to Pure Land.
You don't care. You just want to go to Pure Land. Hallelujah. Good thinking. Okay. And I hope you go to the Pure Land. Oh, you didn't get the joke. It's only in Korea. See, in English, you see, it's so natural for you. I hope you go to Pure Land. Yeah, thank you, Master. But when CNC translate into Chinese, they get all very upset. They say, Master wishes that I die right away. Yeah, I hope you go to Pure Land, like, I hope you die to them. Same Vietnamese, you see. But in English, it's so innocent, it's so well-meaning. Anyway, yes, Jumi, I hope you go to the Pure Land. Yes, here, go for us in the back.
Master, what is the 10 faiths?
The 10 faiths?
Yeah.
The 10 faiths are the starting positions that when you first embark on the cultivation, okay, you will go through the 10 faiths first. Okay, so according to the Avatamsaka teachings, there you first go to the 10 faiths, then graduate to 10 dwellings, okay, then 10 practices, 10 transferences, and 10 grounds. Okay, and so, for example, we never bothered with the 10 faiths because too low. Okay, and you much better than that. Okay, and so, but historically, you have to go through all those positions to graduate. Okay, and so in this sutra, the Avatamsaka Sutra, they will have a chapter on the 10 faiths. Okay, this spells out what is faith. The faith number 1. What is it called? What is it about? Faith number 2, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but for us, we never bother much about the faith because you are so special already. You don't need to go that low. Okay? Okay. Any other questions? Uh, 1359. Therefore, when the minds of the 10 faiths are fulfilled, that gathers in the 5 positions and is the equivalent of accomplishing proper enlightenment.
是故实性满心，即摄五味，成正觉等。
Okay, and so again, this the jargon here that they use here in this prologue is that the 10 faiths about basically is description of the state of your minds. Okay, and when you reach those level, the state of those states of mind, then it will gather in the 5 position, which each has 10. Position is faith position, dwelling position, practice position, transference position, and ground position. Just for your information, transferences is Mahayana technology. Okay, these five positions. We want to get to the 10 grounds. That's enlightenment. Okay. So you have ground number 1, ground number 2, ground number 3, and so forth. Okay, remember that. That's why I call you, 1G, 2G, 6G in Korea, and so forth. 4G somewhere there in Korea, and so forth. You have that. Okay, so you have the G. That's very important. But before you get to G, you have to go through the 10 transferences. Okay, you have to graduate through the 10 transferences. Okay, and this 10 transferences is actually Mahayana technology. Below that, okay, it's Hinayana and the rest. So far, so good. So this is kind of reminder for you that in Mahayana we are very cognizant of the requirements that would take for you to get to G's. Okay, and so there's technology that after you get to the 4th stage Arhat and the Pratyeka Buddhahood, okay, you have to go through the 10 transferences, the technology for the 10 transferences, okay, before you reach the ground positions. Is that clear? So this is just to brag to you about the fact in Mahayana, we very, very detailed about what it takes for you to become a Buddha. It's all documented. Okay, and so Master YongHua came to our country 70 years ago, 50 years ago, and he transferred this technology to us. Okay, and this is very important because until he transferred to us, we really have no clues at all. And not only did he transfer the Chinese technology, the Chinese secret, which is like the Chinese had it and they lost it, and so they brought it here, and now we are becoming much more advanced in that knowledge and those technologies. Okay, and so they let go of this tremendous treasure and escaped to the U.S. Okay, and again, they keep on harping the fact one position, this 10 faith here is the same as Buddhahood or proper enlightenment. Okay, so one position contains all the other positions along the way. Okay, it makes a lot of sense, trust me. So it's just that if your mind stop discriminating and about the words, the name 10 faiths is different from 10 dwellings, Okay, because right there in your mind, you have discriminations. That's why you cannot understand why one contains all. It's only possible for you to understand it when your mind no longer discriminates. That's the first requirement. Okay? Does it make sense? So that's why the Taiwanese, they train their people by what? By teaching them that they teach the Buddhist disciples that their money is our money. And it works so well. If you ask me. Okay? It doesn't work in the US. You guys would never trust us. We tell you that, can you give me your passcode to your bank account? All right? But I know I joke a lot, but I went to Taiwan and I saw the Buddhists, the Taiwanese Buddhists. I noticed that their Dharma door is to plant blessings. Here in U.S., we poor, so our Dharma door is to cross our legs and hurt like hell. Okay? Their Dharma door, they have so much money, they don't need to hurt. It's equally effective. So I'm trying to kind of drop hints to you, very subtle hints. You don't want to suffer, what do? Be Taiwanese. Okay, next. Okay, 1361. It relies on the Dharma realm of universal worthy, the multiple reflections of Indra's net, and the totality of host and attendance, and so it's called the perfect teaching as spoken in such sutras as this one.
依普贤法界，地网重重，主办具足，故名原教，如此经等说。
Okay, and 1362. So one position includes all the other positions and vice versa, and that relies on the contemplation of Dharma realm of universal worthy. Okay, that's what Master Qing Liang says. Okay, I don't know what he means. Okay, universal worthy is a great bodhisattva, a Dharma realm of universal worthy. I don't know what it is, where it is. I have no clues, but I believe, unlike you. Okay, and it's a discussion of the multiple reflection interest net, and so also in Buddhism, it's kind of have this wonderful imagery called. They use this Indra's net. Indra is the celestial king up there that has this net of this vast net that inside each hole there is a pearl, okay, that reflects, that emits light and reflects all the other pearls. That's why the famous Indra's net. Okay, infinite interreflections of the lights from the pearls. Okay, in every interstice in Lord Chakra's cylindrical network banner. So Lord Chakra here is the Christian God. Okay, and so. And 1363, and so the light emits the pearls. Each of them emits light, and also reflects the light from the other lights from the other pearls. Okay, and so this is another imagery of the fact that one pearl there contains all the other pearls. Okay, and so it's the kind of mind where we don't discriminate, and more importantly, once you have this imagery, then you see that we should not reject. We should embrace everything. Okay, and furthermore, is also in the Avatamsaka Sutra. You have this concept of host and attendant. Okay, host here is a Dharma host, the meaning the Buddha who speaks the Dharma, and attendant are the one who come to listen to the Dharma. Okay, that includes all the Buddhas as well. Okay, believe it or not, when Buddhas speak Dharma, the other Buddhas also come to listen. I don't know why, but that's what they do. When you become Buddha, and then you know why. So Shakyamuni Buddha is the host. Buddha's 10 directions are the guests, are the and the attendants. So hosts and guests mutually form totality. So it's called perfect teaching. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? Okay, very good. So the doctrine of one is of no deficiency and no excess, multi-layered, infinite, endless replications as the interest net. The game is given to it is a perfect teaching. Okay, so perfect teaching. Okay, again, don't try to understand, just listen. Okay, it's good enough to listen. Eventually, you will naturally understand. All right, I promise. Okay, so that's a perfect teaching. Any questions about Shaolin and MMA? Never mind. 1366. If in terms of what is said by the Dharma marks in the first, the small vehicle, there is only talk of 75 Dharmas.
若约所说法上者，出小圣中，但说75法。
Okay, so in the prior section, it's probably way over our head. Okay, but it's okay. It's sometimes very important to listen. Okay, and most important to listen and not reject. Okay, just say, yeah, if that's what the Buddha said, someday I will understand. Because this is Buddha's wisdom, folks. Our journey is guided by that Buddha's wisdom. He says, I'm guiding you along, but I'm also telling you in advance what the wisdom that you're having, but you are not being able to see it yet, to use it yet, because your wisdom is same as mine. Okay? And one day, you see that I did not pull your legs. Okay? And so next section now gives us more detail, something more palatable to us. Okay? So he says, see, remember we talked about the 5 classes of Dharma that the Buddha spoke of. First one is small vehicle. Second one is initial teaching. Third one is the final teaching. Fourth one is what? Hello? Certain. Very good. Certain. Very good. And number 5? Perfect teaching. And that's the 5 classifications of the Xian Shou school of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Got that? If you have this, you're able to hear this, you have incredible Mahayana blessings, let me tell you. Because as long as you're still here, you still are pretty good. All right? And so now he's going to go into details about the small vehicle. And we take time to explain it because Master YongHua did. And it helps us understand more about the Dharma, the teaching here. Okay? And we'll, because it's so vast, we learn bits and pieces. And eventually, in time, you see how they connect to each other to form this wonderful interest net. And that's Buddhism, by the way. You don't worry about getting the whole thing, okay? We just learn one bit by bit, because what you learn in this section here called small vehicle is also contains the large vehicle, the big vehicle, okay? And so we're talking about now what are the 75 dharmas that are taught in a small vehicle, okay? It's kind of interesting. And in Mahayana, we reduce everything to about 100 dharmas. So Hinayana has 75, Mahayana we have 100. So you see the difference in sophistication in details. Okay, what are they? They are number one, the 5 senses faculties, the 11 form dharmas. Okay, the 75, remember 75 dharmas that are taught in a small vehicle. This first start with 11 form dharmas, okay, which are, there are 11 of them. Number one is 5 sense faculties, so the roots, the 6 sense objects, okay, and so the 5 are the eye and the form and the ear and the sound, nose and the smell, tongue and the taste, body and objects of touch, dharmas, mind and dharma. All right? The 1369, the 5 sense faculties are also called organs, okay, meaning that you need those there to help us function, but also the roots. Roots here refers to the means for us to give rise to wholesomeness in our nature. We have a nature of goodness, pure goodness, but we need these roots to activate them. Okay? And so so another jargon you should know, and this is important, fundamental concepts, the fundamental jargon for you to understand the Buddhist teachings, minimum vocabulary, you will. You have a 5 sense organs, okay, meaning your ear and eyes and so forth. When you have these sense organs, the opposite, okay, the objects are called states or dusts. All right? And the 6 categories of the dust is the Dharma, which has no representation in its own, Wu Biao. So it's called one that is without representation. Okay? And they all form Dharmas. So far, so good? All right. You can read, 6 is actually the possession of 5 sense organs, but they still form dharmas. Okay. The one mind dharma. What interesting here in slide 1370 is that you see the Hinayana teachings, they are not given the full picture. So for example, here in Hinayana teachings, they only go to the 6 consciousnesses. And so the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, and mind consciousness, and so forth. But they don't have the other mind dharma, which has 7th consciousness and 8th consciousness. Okay, just for your reference. That's all. Don't criticize them. Don't walk up to the Vietnam temple there and say, "You only have 6. We 8." Please don't do that. Okay, or you go to the Tibetan and say, you go to your wife and say, "Tibetan, how many?
They said
They have 9? Oh, darn it. They're lying. Really? They have 9? Wow. Yeah. Number 9 is Supreme Mama. Okay, now I can brag about it. You only have 6, I have 8. And immediately these people say, I have 9. Nya, 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 nya. Okay, so, okay, these are names, don't worry. I just want you to be exposed to it. I've read it a long time ago. I didn't understand much. What intrigued me are actually the actual components. You don't need to understand all 75. You can pick and choose which one kind of interesting. To me now, I go back and revisit this. I find them to be very, very useful. Okay? And someday, when you're in position to be a teacher, that's when these things matter. But for now, I just want, because none of you is a teacher yet, I just want you to be exposed to it and sort of keep an open mind and say, hey, the Tibetan have 9 and we only have 8. Okay? What happened is these dharmas here, the bodhisattvas, compress them, merge them so that there's only 100 different dharmas in Mahayana and 75 in Hinayana to help us understand. Okay? And actually, as you go through them, actually they're very, very interesting, if you ask me. Okay? There are also something called 46 Dharma interactive with the mind, Xin Suo Fa. Okay, I didn't know how to translate Xin Suo Fa. Now actually, it's interactive with the mind. And there are 6 groups, 10 Dharmas universally interactive with all minds, 10 Dharma interactive with wholesome minds, 6 Dharmas interactive with afflicted minds, 2 Dharmas interactive with unwholesome minds, 10 subsidiary of following afflictions, also known as 10 lesser afflictions, and the 8 indeterminate Dharmas, also known as the 10 unfixed Dharmas. Got that? Okay, then you go into a little bit of details. It says, a list of the 10 Dharmas universally interactive with all minds. Okay, and he'll explain to you a little bit later why you want to go through this, because if you're a teacher or you want to speak Dharma, he said you can pick one of these and bring it up and discuss it, and it's people will find it interesting because we're talking about all of us, how our mind functions, why we are the way we are. Okay, so there are 10 dharmas. What are the 10? Feeling, conceptualization, deliberation, contact. Okay, I go through this because I want to create the impression on your mind first. Okay, desire, judgment, recollection, attention, victorious understanding or resolution, and concentration. Okay, these are your states of minds. How's that? This is you. This is how you function. Okay? And this is from the Buddha. So this is to demonstrate to you how detailed the Buddha is in knowing how our mind functions. So far, so good. And so he will give some details. Okay, like the first category is the 10 dharmas universally active with all minds, which accompany all thoughts. Okay, all your thoughts. Okay, the first dharma is feeling. Feeling, what is feeling? What you feel is actually taking and receiving into the mind. When you feel something, okay, it's taking and receiving into our mind. Okay, so that's why we instinctively know that. What proof do you have? I know what you're thinking. when you touch a girl's hand, say, I know what you're thinking. A joke, it's okay. Got that? So feeling is actually taking and receiving into the mind, taking the data and receiving in your mind. It creates feeling. So far, so good? Next one, okay, is conceptualization. Okay? What is conceptualization? These are actually kind of the jargon that you kind of confusing in English, in Vietnamese, and all languages because they sometimes are used loosely. But the concept is that perception here is sometimes called the conceptualization or perception. What is it? What is actually, it says here that what stays in your mind, what you're conceptualizing, okay, or you perceiving, that's what goes into your mind, okay, and that's the Su character in Chan, and or in the Buddhist jargon. So it's kind of interesting to me. There's a distinction between Su and Yi and Xiang. Next one is Xiang, or the liberation. Okay, so deliberation here is that you keep on thinking, okay, thinking back and forth. Okay, and so that's what thinking is about. We keep on thinking about it. It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, where conceptualization is just you have this concept of red, yellow, anger, and so forth. Okay? So the next is deliberation here is more internal mental process, is deeper. Okay? And deliberation also translated as consideration, thinking over. Okay? So thinking, okay? Or they call it deliberation. So thinking is actually thinking back and forth, tossing it around, like tossing a salad. All right? Next kind of mind dharma is contact. What is contact? Contact is also pervades all thought. The contact here is when you touch. Okay, when you touch, it is a mind dharma. It creates a reception in the mind. All right, and you go deeper into it, then you see that you understand this concept. That's when you see why we become attached. We become very attached because of touch. Because a touch there creates a very deep impression in the mind. You touch and just, it's a direct connection to the mind right away. And so it creates an impression. Okay? Yes. Four.
Master, are you talking literally about physical touch, or are you talking about the mental contact with what you're perceiving?
What you're perceiving is called xiang, and perception. Okay, that's a different thing. Touch here, contact here, refers to the actual physical touch. Okay, you feel the shape, you feel the smoothness, you feel, and so forth. This thing here creates again a very strong impression on the mind. Okay. And if you're in advertising, or marketing, this is when you will find it useful. Okay, for example, in the U.S., what do we do when we see someone? Shake hands, and that there creates an impression right away. Okay, and so that goes directly to the people's mind and creates an impression of you on the receiver. You see that? And so that's why when we try to sell you things, feel this fabric. They talk to ladies, please feel this silk. How nice it is, and that it makes you think about it. This is what salesmen do. See, you think that Buddhism is useless? No, this is very practical information. How can you talk about a bond or stock? You can't. You associate with touch. Okay? Touch the IBM logo. Got that? So, okay, or I have a friend who used to be attached to a very attractive girl. Okay, he's head over heels over her. So, and he's too shy, and he can't talk to her. He's just too shy to talk to her. So I brought them together. I took her hands. I said, "Here, feel his heart." I put her. And ka-dum, ka-dum, ka-dum. And they went on a date next day. Well, it's my prior life. I don't do it anymore. To my defense. Yes, JMT.
마석께서 12연 들리세요? 마석께서 6번째 12연계 6번째가 촉이고 그 촉 때문에 수가 생긴다고 하셨는데 좀 전에 지금 설명하신 게 12연계의 촉과 수에 관계된 게 맞는 건지 질문드립니다.
In the 12 link, there is a contact, and then because of a contact, there is a feeling. Is it the same relationship?
Yeah, that kind of thing. But let me remind to some of you, okay? Because we know, the Buddha knows that the touch things here are very dangerous. That's why they don't allow girls to touch monks. Because once you touch us, it leaves an impression we cannot erase. And we folks think about you constantly. Got it? For lay people, it's okay, but for you, please don't touch us. It's very difficult. I joke a lot, but I tell you, this is amazing knowledge, because the Buddha, from this knowledge, he sets up things to help us avoid pitfalls in our journeys. Got that? Number 5 is desire or volition, or liking or wanting. Okay, meaning that whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, it's called desire. You want it. So far, so good. Number 6. Let's do 10, and we stop today. It's enough. I'm tired of talking to myself. 6 universal interactive Dharma is judgment. Okay, it's not a problem you have at all. Okay, judgment here refers to manic people, which you're not. Okay, so see this. The judgment here is actually is a kind of knowledge, okay, but not Don't look at it, think of it as wisdom. Okay, a little bit confusing, but it's okay. Seventh one is recollection, is nian. Okay, like nian fo. Okay, you recollect the Buddha. When you recite the Buddha's name, is you recollecting the Buddha in your mind. Got that? Okay, and so this recollection here will be able to help us remember past events, okay, and remember them very, very clearly. Eighth is attention. So attention here is yi, okay, 作意. 作意 here is very important, okay. It's like you walk by in a room full of people and you don't pay attention. But until you say, boy, okay? And that's when you begin to connect. So far, so good? It's still hurting? Oh my God. I've been like away a month and it's still hurting. I expect you to be past that. Wow, it's so much torture. Go half lotus. Okay, so attention. The 作意 is very interesting. We are able to zoom in, if you will. It's like they have this big view here, and you zoom in. That's a 作意. Okay, you focus. Okay, that's what we're able to do, and that's how we're able to know. Okay, and two more here is a victorious understanding, meaning that that is knowledge that's better than others. You know more about your stuff than others. That's called victorious understanding. A 10th one is concentration, which is what we all that prior 9 minds are to be recognized so that you can build, you find a way to build your concentration. I'm so tired today for some reason. It's like pulling away, so much resistance. I've been away for so long, I apologize. Don't punish me anymore. For that, I'm not going to have a lecture next week. No, seriously, next week I'll be in San Diego for Master Z's dad's funeral service. Okay, so so I will come back here, I think, one day. Thank you, everyone. Good night.